Imagine a life shrouded in darkness, where every step feels like a journey through a never-ending night. Your spirit, once vibrant and free, is now weighed down by invisible chains, each link forged by the cruelty of another. You are trapped in a toxic relationship, controlled by an abuser's manipulative grasp, feeling more isolated with each passing day. Every day feels like a struggle to breathe, to simply exist under the oppressive weight of their demands and expectations, which seem to grow heavier over time. Your thoughts, your feelings, your very essence are constantly undermined and invalidated, leaving you questioning your own reality. The abuser, often a narcissist, thrives on control and power, feeding off your insecurities and fears. They weave a web of manipulation so insidious that their victims often fail to recognize the danger they are in until it's too late. Like a spider patiently waiting for its prey, the abuser slowly drains their victim's energy, leaving them feeling lost, confused, and utterly alone, with no clear way out. Self-doubt takes root and grows, whispering insidious lies that poison their self-worth, making them believe they are unworthy of love and respect. The abuser's voice becomes an incessant echo in their mind, drowning out their own inner voice, making it hard to distinguish between reality and manipulation. But even in the deepest darkness, a flicker of hope remains, a small but persistent light that refuses to be extinguished. This ember, the innate desire for freedom and self-expression, will ultimately become the catalyst for their escape, guiding them towards a brighter, more liberated future. The abuser is a master manipulator, skilled at bending reality to fit their narrative. They are adept at creating a world where their version of events is the only one that seems plausible. Their weapons of choice are gaslighting and smear campaigns, deployed with chilling effectiveness to maintain their grip on their victim. These tactics are not just random acts of cruelty, but are meticulously planned to ensure maximum impact. Gaslighting involves distorting the victim's perception of reality. The abuser denies, contradicts, and twists events, making their victim doubt their own memories and sanity. Over time, the victim begins to question their own reality, feeling increasingly isolated and confused. They plant seeds of doubt, whispering, "You're imagining things," or "That never happened." Smear campaigns are another tactic used to isolate and discredit the victim. The abuser, adept at presenting a charming facade to the outside world, strategically paints the victim as unstable, unreliable, or even dangerous. This facade is so convincing that even those closest to the victim may start to believe the abuser's lies. Friends and family, swayed by the abuser's carefully crafted persona and manipulative tales, may unwittingly become complicit in the abuse. They may distance themselves from the victim, further deepening the victim's sense of isolation. The victim, already reeling from the gaslighting, now faces a world that seems to be confirming the abuser's lies. This creates a vicious cycle of doubt and dependency. These tactics, employed with calculated cruelty, are designed to break the victim's spirit and ensure their continued dependence on the abuser. The abuser thrives on this control, feeding off the victim's despair. But within the depths of their victim's pain lies an untapped well of strength. This strength, though buried, can be the key to breaking free from the abuser's grip. The journey to breaking free from toxicity begins with a spark, a moment of clarity that pierces the suffocating darkness. It might be a seemingly insignificant event, a chance encounter, or a flicker of self-awareness that triggers a profound realization. This is not normal, this is not love, this is abuse. The victim, long accustomed to the abuser's manipulations and control, starts to see the cracks in the facade. They begin to question the constant walking on eggshells, the persistent self-doubt, the nagging feeling of being unheard and unseen. The abuser's words, once so convincing, now ring hollow. This awakening is often accompanied by a surge of conflicting emotions. Fear, for instance, can be paralyzing, but alongside fear there is also a growing sense of anger. This anger, though uncomfortable, can be a powerful motivator. The awakening is just the beginning of a long and arduous journey. Choosing oneself after being subjected to the suffocating grip of a toxic relationship is an act of immense courage. It is a journey that begins with a single, often terrifying step towards self-liberation. It requires a level of self-compassion and inner strength that the abuser has spent countless hours trying to erode. This strength is not always visible at first, but it grows with every act of self-care and every moment of self-reflection. It is a declaration of independence, a defiant act of rebellion against the tyranny of manipulation and control. Each step taken away from the abuser is a step towards reclaiming one's own power and autonomy. The abuser, sensing a loss of control, may resort to even more insidious tactics. They might try to instill fear, guilt, or doubt in the victim's mind, making the path to freedom seem even more daunting. They may escalate their manipulation, showering the victim with promises of change, declarations of love, or threats of self-harm. These tactics are designed to pull the victim back into the cycle of abuse. But the victim, now armed with the clarity of awakening and fueled by a newfound sense of self-worth, begins to recognize these tactics for what they are: desperate attempts to maintain control. This awareness is a crucial turning point in their journey. Breaking free may involve physically leaving the relationship, establishing firm boundaries, or seeking support from friends, family, or professionals. Each of these actions is a step towards healing and rebuilding one's life. It's about reclaiming one's voice, one's identity, and one's life. It's about rediscovering the joy and freedom that were once overshadowed by the abuser's control. This act of courage is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It shows that no matter how deep the wounds, healing and growth are always possible. It's a powerful reminder that even in the face of darkness and manipulation, the light of self-love and the yearning for freedom can never be fully extinguished. This light guides the way towards a brighter, more fulfilling future. The journey from toxicity to empowerment is not linear. It is a process fraught with challenges, setbacks, and moments of intense emotional turmoil. There will be days when the weight of the past feels unbearable, when the abuser's voice echoes in their mind, when doubt threatens to consume them. But it is in these moments of vulnerability that the true strength of the survivor emerges. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, they gather the fragmented pieces of their former self and begin the painstaking process of rebuilding. They learn to silence the abuser's voice and reclaim their own narrative. They rediscover passions and interests that were suppressed during the relationship. They seek therapy or support groups, finding solace and strength in shared experiences. This transformation is not about erasing the past. It's about integrating the experience, learning from the pain, and emerging as a stronger, wiser, and more resilient individual. Section 6. Unveiling the mask. The abuser exposed. As the survivor heals and reclaims their power, the abuser's carefully constructed facade begins to crumble. Stripped of their ability to manipulate and control, their true nature is revealed to the world. Their lies, once so convincing, now fall flat. Their charm, once so alluring, now appears shallow and contrived. The mask they wore for so long slips, exposing the ugliness beneath. Their attempts to discredit the survivor backfire, as their own actions speak louder than any words. People who were once taken in by their charm begin to see the truth, recognizing the patterns of manipulation and abuse. The abuser, used to operating in the shadows, is threatened by the survivor's newfound strength and independence. They may lash out, attempting to regain control through anger, threats, or further manipulation. But their efforts are futile. The survivor has seen behind the mask, and they are no longer afraid. Section 7. Justice and Karma. The universe realigns. There is a universal law that suggests what goes around comes around. While the concept of karmic justice might offer some comfort, it's important to remember that true healing doesn't depend on the abuser's downfall, it blossoms from within. The abuser, accustomed to operating with impunity, may initially escape consequences. They might even revel in their perceived victory, blind to the damage they have inflicted. But the universe has a way of balancing the scales. Their web of lies will eventually unravel, their manipulative tactics will be exposed, their true character will be revealed, and those who were once fooled by their charm will see them for who they truly are. True justice comes from focusing on one's own growth, happiness, and well-being. As the survivor steps into their power, they rise above the need for vengeance. Section 8. A symphony of support, finding strength in connection. No one escapes the clutches of toxicity alone. The journey to freedom is made infinitely easier with the love, support, and guidance of others. This support system can come from various sources: trusted friends and family, therapists and counselors, support groups, or even online communities. Sharing one's story, though painful, can be incredibly cathartic. It allows the survivor to process their experience, to validate their feelings, and to reclaim their voice. Therapists and counselors provide a safe and confidential space to explore the emotional and psychological impact of the abuse. They offer tools and strategies for coping with trauma, rebuilding self-esteem, and developing healthy relationship patterns. Support groups provide a sense of community and shared understanding. It reminds the survivor that they are not alone, that healing is possible. Section 9. Embrace your power. A call to freedom. If you recognize yourself in these words, if you are feeling trapped, controlled, or manipulated in a relationship, please know that you are not alone. There is hope, there is help, and you deserve so much more than a life lived in the shadows of someone else's toxicity. Breaking free from toxicity is a journey of courage, resilience, and self-discovery. It is a process of reclaiming your voice, your power, and your authentic self. Remember, you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness. You are capable of creating a life filled with joy, authenticity, and meaningful connections. Take the first step towards freedom today. Reach out to a trusted friend, family member, therapist, or support group. Your healing matters.